What's up? What's up? It's the Arthur Moats Experience with Deke. I'm Arthur Moats, and that's my main man, Deke.
What's up, dude?
Chilling, man. You know, getting ready for another big time showdown, prime time matchup on the West Coast. Our 1-4 Steelers.
Did you see Twitter at all about the game?
Man,
People are pissed off.
They are. We just need some hope.
I don't blame them, dude. If I wasn't a fan of either of these teams, I'd be like, flex this game. Flex
it. No, hey. Hashtag team no flex for us, man. We in the zone,
the thing,
man.
We're the ones actually watching the Steelers.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to get an entertaining game.
Oh, yeah, absolutely,
no matter what,
man.
Like, because on the surface, 1-4 team, third string quarterback.
Yeah.
Oh, man, why are you putting this in Sunday night?
Yeah.
But we touched on this last podcast. There's hope. So,
well, and it's the Steelers, man. People always tune into the Steelers.
And that's probably one of the reasons why they didn't want to flex it out.
And you got to think, too, man, when you look at the talent on both rosters, the draft picks on both rosters, first-round draft pick, Devin Bush, 10th overall pick, who is on the podcast today. So shout out. Y'all are definitely going to love that interview.
That was dope.
Believe that. But, man, when you just talk about the talent on both rosters, I mean, you have star-studded names. You think about the social media icon or just the branding that they have in Juju. Like, he's a big-time name.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Phillip Rivers is a big-time name. We talked about Devin Bush. Even Ryan Shazier, not playing this year, but being in a coaching role, they still talk about him. Terrell Edmonds, Joe Hayden, Minkah Fitzpatrick, another rising star right now. We could just go on and on. You got the narrative with the Pouncey brothers, you know, with Mike and Marquise. So that's another element to that game, man.
James Conner going to step
Absolutely.
up.
Or even Melvin Gordon.
Mm-hmm.
It's another one, especially when he had the second biggest offseason story behind Ezekiel Elliott in terms of his offseason holdout and stuff like that. So it's going to be a ton to talk about, and I think that was another big reason why they left it on primetime.
You see that? He changed his number.
Who?
Melvin Gordon.
Yeah.
To 25. I initially thought I was watching the game. I thought the announcers were getting it wrong. I was like, man, are Nance and Roma slipping here?
Hey, man.
No, a lot of talent on the Chargers even, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Their defense, Joey Bosa.
Obviously, Joey Bosa, man.
Obviously, Derwin James ain't playing, but
Desmond King's out there.
Right.
He's all pro in multiple positions, man. You think about him. Casey Hayward's another Pro Bowl caliber guy. Melvin Ingram. And that's just on the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, on the offense, we talked about Phillip Rivers. They have Keenan Allen out there. They got Mike Williams, who's another emerging guy. So, I mean, it's a ton of talent, a ton of names. And that's why I think it's going to be a fun matchup, man.
I think it will, too. Although, I don't know how much of those dudes on the Chargers, I haven't seen every game.
Yeah.
But based off the stats, based off some of the highlights I was watching, it doesn't seem like they've been living up to the hype much of this season.
I think the biggest thing defensively for them is they're missing Derwin James.
Yeah.
He's their best player defensively. He changes everything. It's kind of like when we talk about how this offense looked, the Steelers offense looked minus AB. Like, everybody looks drastically different. And that's just when you have one of those superstar caliber players, how they make those guys around them so much better. And I think that's what they're witnessing right now with the absence of Derwin James since he's been hurt.
No, definitely. Because you saw last week with the Broncos, they were able to gash them pretty good.
Yeah, like they ran through him. Like, from a passing standpoint, that wasn't the case. I mean, Joe Flacco didn't do anything, but you look at Philip Lindsay, and I forgot the other running back was, but they literally combined for, I think it was like 170, 180 on the ground between the two of them, and it wasn't even a ton of carries. Lindsay had 15 carries. I think the other cat had maybe 7 or 8, but that's the weakness right now in their defense. If you're looking at how would you attack them, you don't do it passing the ball because you know they can get after the passer and Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram. But when you talk about that running game, they're small at the linebacker spot in terms of Denzel Perryman. I mean, Denzel probably shorter than you. He's like, seriously, he's probably like 5'6", 5'7". And then you have TD, Thomas Davis, who's been doing it for a long time, but obviously he's a lot older. And you could tell he's not the Thomas Davis of old. He's not the Thomas Davis that was, leading that Panthers defense with Kuechly to the Super Bowl. That's not him anymore. So you could just see where they're hurting in that element.
No, definitely. So I guess that's kind of the storyline with the Steelers, especially now with Jalen Samuels being out. It's gonna be
out with the knee injury, man. Got that good old scope.
It's gonna be James Conner and Benny Snell. Did we bring anyone? Is the third string?
I think they moved up Trey Edmonds.
Okay.
They say he's gonna be the other one, but they still haven't decided. Like, we know just from obviously me doing like the work with the Steelers and stuff like that, James is gonna still be the guy. But the jury's still out in terms of who's going to take the majority of those reps.
We still even know if he's fully healthy even.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a ton of questions in that room.
Just lost James Washington.
Mm-hmm. Although
I did see a report Mason practiced today. It's still highly unlikely he's playing.
Right.
So what?
Well, I'm going to ask you. Mason practiced today. Would you put him back out there knowing what he just sustained and the potential that it could happen again?
Well, I told you who had the better QBR.
No, forget the QBR. I'm just saying, like, in general, though, right?
Yeah.
You can't risk that on a prime time platform.
Well, there's that, yeah, and like as an organization, almost like the Heat. Like, you're not going to put Bosch back in, even though he's saying I'm good to go.
Right.
Like, if he has a major life-threatening injury or dies, like you can't do that to yourself as an organization. And for the example
with Mason, it's not as if he can't get hit again. And let's be real, the O-line has struggled some this season. So you're going to put him back in that position where he could potentially have another hit like that where he gets concussed. It's not a good look, not only for the organization, but for the NFL as a whole. And I think that's the biggest reason why I'm like, I don't care if he practices every day this week. You can't have that man out there on Sunday.
So, our offense versus their defense, given all of that, if you're Randy Finkner, what are you dialing up?
You got to figure out ways to run the ball. Outside, from a cornerback standpoint, do you like our receivers right now versus their corners? And as much as you're a homer, you're the biggest homer I know. But I'm just saying.
There was a little Duck to Juju connection, I noticed.
And that's fair. That's cool. You look at Phillip Rivers, he actually set a record with their receiver out there. I'm thinking about Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco balled out in terms of his passes, right? But
was it Sutton had the big catch?
Sutton had the big catch.
I don't know if I can't remember how much more he had throughout that game, but yeah.
But it's like that's not the best way to attack that defense. I understand you love Duck. I understand that. But for me, the way I see you attacking this defense, man, is running it on them, because that's their biggest weakness right now. If you sit here and try to throw the ball 30 times because you're confident in Duck's arm, you're playing into their strengths, because they're built to rush the passer and cover guys. Like, that's just how they're structured. That's where you see all their talent at. And I think that's why for this Steelers team, you have to get the running game going. But the flip side is, when have we seen the running game get going this season yet?
Well, that's what I was going to say. James Conner's going to have a really good game, and the offensive line, I guess, too. That's kind of the yin and the yang, right? If you're able to get that running game going, then it opens it up for the pass game. But if you can't get that running game going, you're putting a lot on Duck Hodges, a third stringer for Sunday night football.
But you don't consider him a third stringer, so man, don't downplay it, man. Hey. You try to come over here. Hey, man, it's third stringer. You hitting us with Coach Tomlin, man.
No. Here's the thing.
That's Coach Tomlin. I'm preparing for a primetime matchup versus a future Hall of Fame quarterback and Phillip Rivers with my third string quarterback. I ain't buying it.
But no.
Hey.
No, well, I'm just throwing facts out at you. I threw facts out at you with the QBR, his stats, but he is the third stringer. So James Conner's gonna have to have a big game. That's kind of, I think, what we're both saying and what we're both thinking. Well, that's gonna need to happen.
It doesn't even have to be James. It could be any of the trio of running backs that they use. I don't care if it's Benny. I don't care if it's Trey Edmonds that comes in and has a big game. And it's not even a big game in terms of you have to have over 100 yards rushing. You just have to have productive runs. Control the ball, but stay on schedule. Staying on schedule meaning, hey, when you're running the ball, you're picking up 3.5 to 4 yards per tote. Stay on schedule. It can't be the 2 point whatever. Like, you can't have that, because that's not on schedule. That puts you in, less advantageous situations, especially with a young quarterback who's going to be on the road for the first time, who's going to be in prime time for the first time. And I understand he's cool, no moment's too big, and that's fine. All I'm going to say is it's different at an NFL level on prime time versus an NFL level defense that's prepared for you for a week. That's all I'm saying. So y'all take it how you want to take it.
You said it when we went off camera. You're like, I've known a lot of dudes that are fearless out here. That
super fearless. You want to talk about a fearless guy? Nathan Peterman, hell to Pitt. He's super fearless. I done seen my man go out there and throw 5 picks versus this same Chargers defense. I'm just throwing it out there, bro. Hey, fearless though. Hey, whole stays calm, man, cool and collected. Yeah, it happens. That's all I'm saying.
No, I feel you. So on the other side of the ball, our defense versus our offense, I'll be honest with you, it looked like Phillip Rivers sucked last week.
Absolutely.
And I don't know, there wasn't much going for Melvin Gordon. Mm-hmm. Eckler didn't do anything. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's Broncos are a sneaky good team behind the scenes or what, but
no. Well, you got to think Eckler actually he had a ton of receptions. He didn't have any yards because all their passes were like 2 to 3 yard passes.
Dude, what was? Oh my gosh, what was his attempts? I don't have it.
No. Phillip Rivers was like 22 of 30 or something like that for like 200 yards.
I think it was 38 attempts.
Yeah, for just like 20 something yards. I mean, 200 something yards. It wasn't. I don't think he had more than 230. Passing.
I think any pass he tried throwing downfield was just picked off.
Yeah. So that's why I say you have to stop Melvin Gordon, because if Melvin is able to get going and running the ball, that makes their offense multifaceted, multidimensional. And then on top of that, then you have to be worrying about the play action. You have to worry about Melvin sneaking off a screen and stuff like that. Whereas if you're stopping and running, making Phillip have to throw it, Phillip, even with that Broncos defense missing Bradley Chubb, they still looked like that Chargers offense looked just scared of the rush. Like, oh, Phillip was like, like something's about to happen. I'm about to get hit. And he really did have time. But I'll tell you this, I feel like this Steelers pass rush, the guys that they've been rotating in, I think have put together a more formidable bunch than that Broncos front. Now, granted, that Broncos front has a Von Miller. So from a solo star standpoint, of course, he's that guy.
Right.
But when you look across that whole line of scrimmage, give me that Steelers front any day. And those guys have been producing at a high level and has been keeping them in a ton of these games.
I know, definitely. So it's funny. I'm just pissed we're 1-4 still, because as we're talking about this game, and I'm sure as we're going to continue to talk about, like, all these games are feasible. Like it's
right. Nobody on this schedule is like
as we're talking about this, it's like, all right, Chargers had a good season last year, but now they're 2-3 this year. Yeah. Probably lucky they're 2-3.
Yeah. Well, and then for them, obviously their argument is we're without our best player on defense, and then our best running back just came back. And I think that's kind of how they make their argument.
But we got that argument too.
Yeah, well, ours is the Trump argument. I mean, we missing our franchise quarterback, and now we're down from our second quarterback.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But saying all that, I mean, we're dissecting it with all those factors in play. It's like, we could still win this. And obviously, I honestly think we should win this based off all these matchups we're talking about.
Absolutely. And not only this matchup, but I even look at just the division as a whole from the AFC North. It's still wide open because the Browns aren't there. The Ravens, clearly y'all saw how that matchup went. And then the Bengals are really bad. So for me, if you're the Steelers team, you have to be excited, but you have to also understand that time isn't on your side. You have to start stacking wins somehow, some way. When we talk about how they've been losing games on ill-advised turnovers or penalties at the wrong junction of the game, you're not allowed to keep doing that. You have to stop that now, because that window is getting smaller. You know what I mean? The road is starting to narrow, and you have to start stacking these performances on top of each other. So that's why it's going to be key for them to execute at a high level. And I'm not saying they have to go out here and be the best players on the field, but just execute. If you don't beat yourselves, they'll be fine.
Yeah. So does anyone on the Chargers offense scare you in terms of like an X factor? So there's two things that come to my mind. Eckler potentially coming out of the backfield, being real shifty and making our linebackers either miss or just beating them in coverage.
Right.
And then Keenan Allen's the interesting one to me. I don't really know how much they always line him up on the outside. Right. I feel like if that's all they do, I feel pretty good about that, especially how our corners have been playing.
Let's be real. You remember last year? You remember last year, right?
I'm liking Steven Nelson and Joe Hayden.
No, I'm just saying, though, you remember what happened last year, right?
I do.
So even with Keenan last year, he lined up at the number 3 spot essentially as a tight end for 85% of the game.
That's what I was going to say. If they do that, now I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming.
I mean, why wouldn't you do that if you're the Chargers? You're going to make them isolate Steven Nelson or Joe Hayden on him. You're going to make them have to move their corners to guard him, because if you don't, you allow him to run against Mark Barron or Devin Bush or Vince Williams or Tyler Matakadovich. That's a mismatch. I don't care who it is. That's a mismatch. And that's how they attacked this defense last year. So it's going to be interesting to see what Keith Butler and Coach Tomlin come up with in terms of how they want to combat that, because if I'm looking at this defense, that's the way I'm attacking them. I'm saying, hey, look, probably can't run the ball. All right. Corner's been playing really well. But we know, okay, these linebackers have struggled a little bit in terms of the vertical passing attack. So where can we get that matchup at? Let's see if they corrected themselves from last year. And as the NFL, that's what you always do. You want to see, okay, if you had a major issue at any point in the past year, hey, we're going to attack it to see if you really fixed it. So that's why that's the matchup I really want to see.
For sure. Do you think they'll have a lot of 2 RB sets out there then?
I mean, they could potentially. I think it's really going to depend on how Melvin Gordon is coming along as well. Obviously, when you take that much time off, coming back during the season, it takes some time to get your body back up to speed, get your hammies back used to it, your hip flexors, get your body back used to being hit, carrying the extra weight from the pads. So just depending on how they want to continue to use him, because you've already heard the coach out there talking about how they're not calling it a snap count, but they aren't fully unleashing them yet. They say, hey, we're rotating the guys, we're doing this, just because you have to do that to protect him from an injury right now. So that's the only reason why I'm not sure how much 2-back set we'll see from them.
No, well, and that's why I didn't really name him as an X factor. He didn't really look threatening last week, so it might take him 2 or 3 weeks.
Right, I took all the time, like, I don't care how great of a player you are. Even Le'Veon Bell, when he set out, it took him a couple of games to get back going, because the speed of it, how you see things, your body when you're making your cuts and stuff like that, it takes time to adapt to it. And you can train all you want. You can cut on every cone you want to cut on. It's different when it's time to play the game. And that's what he's seeing right now, man.
No, definitely. Another thing that might be a factor is a Steeler takeover at Charger Stadium.
Yeah, man, all 20,000, that 20,000 seat stadium, man. But I mean, when you talk about the Steelers, like even when they were in San Diego, they took over the stadium.
Right.
Like I distinctly remember them cheering us for the intros, booing them for their intros, them having an operator on a sideline count, telling people to be quiet because Steeler Nation was going crazy. It's going to be the exact same thing in LA, because I mean, they're the second team out there. It's the Rams that get all the love. They're just like, oh, yay, it's Chargers, cool. So for them, they're not going to have any type of home field advantage. And that does benefit the Steelers team.
It does, because like in the back of my mind, I remember whenever we were talking about the schedule, we got to go all the way out to the West Coast and play in LA, away game. When I'm thinking about it, especially LA, I feel like for whatever reason, there's a big Steeler base.
LA is going to be a home game for the Steelers, and Arizona is definitely going to be a home game for the Steelers. That's just...
So outside of the maybe the natural travel or jet lag that might be a negative factor against the Steelers, I don't think actually playing in the stadium will be at all, right?
Nah, it'll be fine, man.
Just the potential Sunday night primetime pressure.
The jet lag won't get them as bad either, because it's a Sunday night game. When you're going out there and playing a traditional like 1 o'clock game, it gets you because the clock difference. You know what I mean? And you're fatigued by it.
Were you feeling it a little bit?
Oh, you always do. Yeah, when I've played out there for 1 o'clock games, absolutely. When I play out there for primetime games, which is essentially a 5 o'clock game out there, you feel fine. Yeah, and with this is going to be a 5 o'clock game for them. So they're going to have plenty of time for their bodies to adapt to it. You get to sleep in a little bit longer. All of that benefits them.
Got you.
Yeah.
What was the worst jet lag for the whenever you were playing, or for the San Fran tailgate?
No. Oh, man. San Fran tailgate was rough, man. That was rough. Just because we had a lot of fun out there. And then, obviously, the game didn't go as we wanted. And then having to come back and then hop right. Because remember, we hopped right back into work when we came back here, man.
That's true.
So
yeah.
That took a couple days, man.
It did.
Yeah. At least when you're flying with the team, man, you know, hey, I'm out of here. As soon as the game's over, within 2 hours, I'm in the air.
Yeah.
Period. No stops. Direct.
That's true.
our flights delayed, all type of stuff, man.
It was, man.
Yeah,
it was.
It was a long time.
It was.
Yeah.
It was a great time, though.
Absolutely.
Is there anything you want to touch on the game, or do you want to get into the hardcore predictions here?
Ooh, man. What do you? And less about what you're predicting in terms of wins and losses. What are you predicting from Duck this week?
Oh, all right.
Yeah, because that's your boy.
Ah, man. See, I was thinking this on the way out as we were doing the Bush interview today. That I think I was maybe a little too gun ho on the podcast.
No, man, don't you start dialing it back now, baby.
I'm not dialing it back. I'll hold the flag. I'll take
man.
it. But
you Baker Mayfield this day, baby. You Baker Mayfield it, all right?
It's only I'm thinking of it more and more. It is only 1/2, and I'm.
Oh no! But you saw the preseason though, right?
I did, and I'm gonna trust my man John, and I'm gonna trust what my eye said. So yeah, he's gonna have a good game. I think he's gonna be fearless out there. He's gonna let it
300 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Nah, man, it'll be 250, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick,
you
and the
just
win.
rode over to 300 at 250. You round up. What the heck?
Nah, because I think we're gonna get the running game going a lot.
Okay,
I think it'll be
so 130 for James Conner.
All purpose. Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
So actually, yeah, how much of that all purpose then plays into Duck's passing now? I'm getting all my math mixed up. So yeah, maybe 275 for Duck, 130
Man, you might as well go. If he gonna get 275, you might as well go 300, man.
Nah, bro. 272.
So you're not believing in Duck?
I am. I'm saying he gets the win. That's all that matters as a quarterback.
But you can get the win and not do anything. You seen Joe Flacco.
I'm saying he plays good. That's a good game. 272, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, QBR 60
Why are you coming at his QBR like that?
68.
Why so low?
That's not low. That's above that. That's pretty good. If you look at 68 QBR last year for quarterbacks, I'd say that's probably in the top 7 or 8.
Why can't he be like the best though? This is Duck.
Bro, I mean, come on, man. I'm just.
Why you mean? Where is his modesty? This is Mr. 15-1 Deke.
See,
what is going on with you?
Nah, man. I'm level headed with this.
I don't like level headed Deke, man. It makes me nervous.
Nah, dude.
I like sell the house Deke. Like, yo, he's going for 300, 4 touchdowns, no picks, and he's gonna run a touchdown in.
Nah, man. Just good solid game, good running game going.
So a good solid game is enough for him to just be the clear cut guy with Mason.
It's gonna be eye test. We're gonna have to see.
I'm just saying. All right. Okay.
It's gonna have to be. Wait. So those numbers that happens.
Mm-hmm. You said a good solid game.
That's a good game, is it not? And getting the win.
If he goes out there and throws for 275, that's a good game for Duck, or is that a great game for Duck?
Either one. Whatever gets the dub.
So no. I'm saying less about because the team is in control of the win, right? The team controls the win.
Right.
So for example, we're not saying that one play dictates a win or loss, but if James Conner doesn't have the late turnover, right? Would you account that win that the Steelers would have had to Mason, or would you have counted that to like the defense with the 5 turnovers?
Yeah, the defense.
But you can't say that. Oh man, that's Mason's win.
So that's what I'm saying. I don't do that.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. When you're talking about Duck, as long as he gets the win, I'm like that we're talking about Duck's performance.
Whenever I said as long as he gets the win.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like in terms of
that's what I'm saying.
Performance.
I think his performance is gonna be impactful to the win. It's gonna be necessary.
It's gonna have to be without a doubt. Yeah, regardless of if you're on just don't turn the ball over, or if you're out there being aggressive.
It's not going to be completely the Cincinnati game because I think the Chargers will shut up a little bit more. But I think it'll be a total team game. Defense will play good. Maybe 2 turnovers there. Okay. Duck, he's going to throw a pick. He is. He's just going to throw one. But he's going to have 2 touchdowns and he's going to have a solid game. Like I said, 270 something. Yeah. James Conner on the ground.
I'm just saying, if 270 something is solid for Duck, I want to know what's great for Duck. That's all I'm saying.
Wait, what do you mean? Do you think I'm already too high on that?
I'm just saying, if you're saying 275 and 2 touchdowns is just solid for this man, what do you consider great for this man?
Well, isn't that just like a solid game in the NFL these days?
But who are you for what quarterback? if we're talking Ben, that's a solid game. If we're talking,
well, even if Ben goes out there and throws for 230 and 2 touchdowns, but
that's a solid game for Ben. But we've seen a great game for Ben is 500 yards, 5 touchdowns.
See, I'm not but like a great game for Ben could be still 230, 2 touchdowns, no picks. But what if he throws for like a great game for Ben? What if he's
that's
like
an average game for
18 for 19 and the defense plays out of their mind?
That's super average for Ben.
No, but
Ben throw 350. I expect from Ben when we were out there together.
There's a game flow, right?
No. When we were out there together. 350 to 500 was that's realistic every week.
I know it was at that.
And then 500 were great.
It was actually those 4 years when you were on the team. Like, so it was nuts.
For me, if he threw for 275 and we won, I'm like, this is an average Ben game. That's nothing crazy. That's nothing special.
I know he's not Ben. That's what I'm saying.
So that's what I'm saying. If you're saying that 275 for Duck is just an average game for him,
no, not solid. It's solid. It's a good game. Like, it's solid.
You just said it's solid. So I'm asking, what is a great game for him then?
I don't know how much of it's based on yardage. That's what I mean, because he could have a 275 game, 2 touchdowns, maybe no picks, has a better completion percentage, makes more critical throws, and that's a great game.
If he throws I'm gonna tell you right now, if he throws 275 yards and 2 touchdowns, that's a great game for him.
Okay.
275, 2 touchdowns, and 1 pick is a great game for Duck right now, bro.
Okay, that's all I'm saying. I'm good with that. That's all fine. Right. That's fine.
Just word it the right way, man. A solid game? Oh, this is solid for him. This is average for him. That's like, if Von Miller gets 1 sack, if Von Miller gets 2 sacks, that's a solid game for Von.
Solid's a neutral word, though. You could take it to mean like a great game, or you could take it to mean like
great means great. Average means average. Good means good. Solid means average.
Solid means average.
Yeah, it was like a solid game. It was average.
See, that's where we're off. I see solid as like above average, like good, like solid. Good.
So above average and good is the same then.
They're close. They're very close.
You're using like all these words to be the same thing. You could actually be like good and great, same thing.
No, they're not. No, good and great aren't. No.
But average and good are.
They're close. I'd say good above. Good is over above average.
All right, cool.
So I said good and solid are like
all right.
on level for me. So I think we're not as far off as what you think.
All right, I like it, man. 275, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. I heard it right here first from Deke, baby. Boom.
I might have said 272.
All right, 272.
In the 270 range. You can't hold me to exact.
All right, fair enough.
What if it's exactly 275 and I retracted it?
Hey, you gotta live with it, man.
No, I'll just take the clip where I said 275 and we'll use that.
There we go there.
You'll have to listen to the full podcast to get my fraudness.
I like it.
So final score 21-17.
Steelers? Okay.
What do you got?
I hate the fact that I don't feel like I've seen enough of Duck yet.
You predicting that loss?
I don't want to because I feel like they need to win this game. And they have every reason why they should win this game. And I love this matchup for them. My biggest concern is just I haven't seen enough of Duck yet. I can see this going, all the confidence that we talk about, the gunslinger not scared to throw it out there. And we look at a 2 or 3 pick game, 1 touchdown, 200 yards.
Garbage time touchdown.
Yeah, and that's what's concerning me because like I told you, I see a ton of young guys with confidence, and that's cool. But sometimes if you have too much confidence without understanding what you need to fear or what you need to respect, it gets you in trouble. And that's my only concern right now. Oh, man. I feel like I got to predict a win, though, man, because they have to win.
I feel like all your analysis, though, and what you're thinking in your mind is lost right now.
So I say it like this. In my mind, I do think lost, but in my heart, in my relationship with these guys, and because we are a Pittsburgh podcast, I'm rolling with the Steelers winning, and I'm going to say
I guess
it's going to need to be 24-21. I'm going with a Boss field goal late. I think we get a couple turnovers defensively, and that gets them a short field, and then Duck is able to do some of the things that he's comfortable doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Mind and heart both make a person, so you can go with either or.
Hey, you call it how you want to call it, man.
One's not necessarily wrong. One's not necessarily right.
Just know your market. That's all I'm gonna say. Know your market.
So, we got the game covered here.
Oh man, you had something you wanted to talk about too, man.
What's that?
Some trade rumors that came up.
I did, yes.
Listen. I'm going to let you break the trade rumor news, but all I'm going to say is when I first saw the trade rumor come up, I said to myself, okay, I'm gonna have to talk about this on 2 occasions, and I know why. I said number one, because the radio show that I do on Tuesdays on 937 The Fan, I said the guys that I work with up there, they love this type of stuff. Like, this gets them going. And I said the next person is my podcast co-host, young Deke, chilling with Deke, Deke Daddy.
Yep.
Yeah, I said he's definitely gonna want to talk about this. So I started preparing myself. So go ahead and break the trade rumor, please.
Actually, I don't know much about it because I didn't really click into it or give it much thought or credibility. Yeah. But the Redskins are trying to, or they put him on their hot list, right? Yes. Of potential coaches they want to bring in. They put Tomlin on there. So all of a sudden, that sparks, I think Pittsburgh papers and Pittsburgh media were writing about it, that, maybe Steelers should explore trading Tomlin to get a first-round pick. I mean, at this point, it probably would be a top 3 pick. But, I mean, so now there's this rumor out there about Steelers. Should they trade Tomlin? A lot of the fans are in an uproar anyway and want him gone. So at least if they trade him, they'd get a first-round pick back. You want my take on it?
Absolutely. Give me your take.
It's dumb as hell. Just don't even do it, please.
I'm surprised because you're like Mr. Trade.
Nah, don't trade Tomlin. I mean, come on.
You typically like weekly.
That's
weekly
ridiculous.
We're having a conversation about, should we trade for this guy? Can we get that guy? What if we trade this dude for that dude? Like, weekly we have that conversation.
It's just dumb. Like, I don't see any reason to do that at this point.
But I mean, a ton of people are like, Coach Thomas is over, like, sucks, all these other things. Like, this stuff I hear, when we're doing some of the radio stuff, when we're out at some of these events. So I was, I'm just checking you out, man.
What do you want him to do at this point? I mean, we talked about this on the last one. The defense has been playing awesome.
Lights out, which is his specialty.
2 fumbles cost us wins there, probably.
From an offensive standpoint.
Right, and then there's been some shitty calls. So
and you're down to your 3rd quarterback. Yeah. Technically, you're 4th if you're throwing Dobbs.
Like, I don't know what you really want him to do otherwise right now. So
I just love the fact that people are holding this season against him too. Like, he's never had a losing season, but I think that changes this year.
I don't. I still don't think he's gonna have a losing season.
I personally don't either. I think
it might be 8-8.
But I still just throwing the fact that I'm like, are we really gonna hold a season where he loses not 1, but 2 quarterbacks? Like, this is crazy. And this is where if we go against Belichick and say, hey, Belichick, you gotta lose Tom Brady, then I need you to lose this quarterback too. Your Matt Castle theory, lose him too, and then come here with your 3rd quarterback and then still sustain and still dominate and still do your thing. Because people gonna be like, well, they had Garoppolo, then they had Jacoby Brissett. Yeah, it was like for 2 or 3 games. That was it. Yeah. Like, I want to see them sustain that for all the time, because we still haven't seen it with Garoppolo. The jury's still out for him. 1 week he looks good, 1 week he looks terrible. Jacoby Brissett, he's just now getting his chance to be the guy. So for me, that's all I'm just I just want to see what it looked like, man. Y'all,
What were they saying on the radio show?
Oh man,
they want it.
They love it.
Why?
Trade him, man. The same way you had to trade Cowher, or the same way you had to get rid of Cowher and bring in a new guy. Like, I trust the Rooneys in terms of their success and getting new coaches.
I swear Cowher retired.
But they were talking about how, like, people wanted him out of town too. And then it was
he won the Super Bowl.
I know. But I just laugh at how even when people were talking about they wanted Cowher gone, because they were pulling up all these different articles with all these different people. But then I'm like, when Cowher left, I feel like people talk about him like he's God now. And I'm like, is this going to happen again with Coach T? Like, when he's officially gone, now it's going to be, oh man, we love Coach T, which is so awesome. We need Coach T back. Like, we need a Coach T type of coach. Like, is that what's next? And then they ran down the rabbit hole of, well, he didn't close the door on it officially by his response. He just simply said that he's preparing for the game. He didn't say that.
I don't think anything he would have said would have been good. I think that was the best way to answer.
Absolutely. Because I'm like this.
Because like if he would have like gave like a negative response, it almost would have given credibility to the rumors.
Well, and then I say this. Okay, say after the season things don't go the way you want to go, and you completely just obliterate this rumor, right? Oh, I would never, da-da-da-da. And Daniel Snyder's offering you, hey, Coach T, I pay you $100 million. Gruden got $100, and he was coming out the booth with nowhere near the success of you, Coach T. I'll give you $100 right now. You really think he's not going to take the $100 million? I don't care how much you love Pittsburgh. I don't care how much you care about winning. $100 million speaks differently.
Yeah.
And I think his response leaves the door open for everything. And I think it was the right response, though.
Yeah.
Because you never know. You can't put yourself in no box like that, period.
No, 100%. For his sake.
Yeah.
And
by the way, his son does play at the University of Maryland. Just throwing it out there.
Oh, dude.
He's only 3.5 hours away from the crib. 757. Shout out.
No, man, I'm good running it back with Tom. I think Tomlin and Ben are going to be.
I agree.
It's them two. And I think that's the perfect way to have it for the rest of Ben's career.
Well, and I said,
do you really think like he wants some other coach coming in here?
I personally don't. But I said, just close your eyes and envision this. In 2 years, the Steelers could be no Ben, no Coach T, and no Kevin Colbert. Just think about that.
I don't necessarily. I'm not looking for that.
I'm not either.
I don't want that.
But I think fans, just be careful what you wish for. Like I said, because I've been in situations, obviously in Buffalo and in Arizona, where change happens a lot, and it doesn't always equate to success.
Just look at similar franchises at, say the past 10, 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Similar franchises, I would say the Saints,
yeah,
and the Packers. Outside of those two, I can't really think of someone that's been like consistently in the mix. Right. Maybe had a down year here. Mm-hmm. I mean, those two coaches both had one Super Bowl as well. Yeah. Actually, Tomlin's the only one out of Saints didn't go to 2.
Mm-mm.
They just went to 1.
Yeah,
they've been close, but Tomlin's the only one out of those 3 that's been to 2.
Mm-hmm.
So,
cause I was like McCarthy, but then they got rid of him because I heard that he just wasn't a good coach. It was more so just he had Aaron Rodgers that saved him. But yeah, man,
how much of the defense has to do with LaFleur being there as opposed to petting all the draft picks that were...
No, the defense is pet.
So...
Without a doubt, that's pet.
Right.
Now, I've played for pet, and I know 100%. When I watch that, I'm like, this is petting all over. Like, yeah, I see the bare front. Oh, I see him manning up here. Oh, that's 47 coverage right there. I know what you're about to do.
So, we're probably going down a rabbit hole here, but you see this all the time. His success in Cleveland was...
Mm-hmm.
rough.
It was.
There was no success, actually.
Yeah.
So, what do you think when you see that? Do you think Patton failed, or is it the whole organization?
I think it's some guys operate better as coordinators, and others operate better as being the guy that oversees everything.
Wade Phillips is probably another example of that.
Like, you can go down the list. It's guys who are just better coordinators. Mike Munchak. Think about him in Tennessee. As much as people love him here in Pittsburgh, him in Tennessee as a head coach was very mediocre. You look at him as a position coach with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it is extraordinary. Some people operate better in a smaller role. Others operate better as the guy who oversees everything, is the head of everything. That's just, it's hard to explain, but that's the biggest thing with it, though.
Maybe we should give some of them more credit.
It's like that.
It's all in the head coach. It's a head coach and quarterback. That's what it is with all these teams, right? You went.
Here you go.
What I'm saying. No. Isn't that what it is? If the team loses or team wins,
they get the credit. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, we should maybe spread it out a little more. That's all I'm saying.
I've been saying that, but that's not how it works, because people like look at the QBR, look at the stats, look at the face, and that's typically how it works, man.
No, definitely. Yeah. All right, so
is it better the week?
I think it is, yeah, because I remember I brought it up to you a little bit, the Baker and the Sherman thing, man. But there's nothing there. Let's not talk about that.
All right, let's go bet time then,
Let's get to the bet of the week. And what I was doing on my computer before we started recording the podcast was Google bet consequences.
Okay.
So we could just do all this on the fly if you want.
All right, let's hear it.
Do you want to go to the game first?
Yeah, what game we're picking?
Let's go to the game. NFL.com.
Or are we supposed to pick our consequences first and then pick the game? Because then that helps us when we're betting on the teams. Yeah.
All right, I'm on.
You gotta know what your stakes are before you start just hopping into it.
Drink a gallon of milk.
That sounds nasty.
Do the spoonful of cinnamon.
Spoonful of cinnamon.
You ever see that challenge?
I have. I heard people like.
Yeah, they throw up. Yeah. All right.
That doesn't sound like fun.
Eat a full bag of Haribo gummy bears.
I like that challenge a lot, actually.
Sugarless gummy bears contain a chemical that has a rather severe diarrhea effect.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like fun.
Oh, wait. Stand 3 millimeters. It's 3 away, 3 meters, I guess, and let the other person serve 5 ping pong table tennis balls as hard as they can at you.
What the?
Misses count. $100 cold hard cash.
All right.
Just snort salt up your nose.
What?
Get a haircut from the winner. We can't do that.
Not a chance. Bro, what type of site are you on?
This is Quora.
Holy cow.
Where you just go and you just pose a question and like people answer. Almost like, you remember Yahoo Answers?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is like a more classy version of that.
Okay, like Ask Jeeves or something, bro.
Do 2 drops of ghost pepper extract. Push a car down the block.
Ooh. I kind of like that. All right.
Eat a raw egg.
Nah, yeah.
Stand in freezer for 10 minutes.
Do we have a freezer?
I guess you'd have to go to like a Sheetz or something like that as a freezer.
10 minutes? We're going to die.
You think that's that bad? I don't think that's that bad.
I don't know. 10 minutes is a long time. That's all I'm saying.
For a bet. Get cornrows. Let's see. So I don't know. What do you think?
I'm kind of liking the pushing the car down the street. That sounds like the safe one right now, man.
What about eat a raw egg?
That sounds nasty, bro.
You wouldn't do that.
I'm not into raw eggs.
You wouldn't do that.
Like, you want the yolk, slimy.
I think it would have to be like 3 or 4, honestly, for the bet.
See, yeah, push the car, bro.
See, I've done the raw egg. I think I've done 2 raw eggs at one time before. It's actually not bad. That's why I'm saying I would do it.
Yeah, see, I'm not a raw egg guy, man. I don't even like my eggs runny.
All right, so push. How would we do that?
What you mean? You just put the car in neutral, and then you got to push that joint.
I know, but like, when's it gonna stop? We got to make sure.
Or I guess somebody would have to be in the car while you're pushing it.
Okay, yeah, that works.
And then you need somebody that's going to record it.
Yeah, that's good with me.
I mean, we got drivers.
Yeah, definitely.
We got people that can sit in the car and just hit the brake when we get to this block.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
How much? Yeah. Well, is it gonna be easy as you get it going though? Will it be too easy?
Have you pushed the car before?
Yeah, but like only to like a short distance.
We're talking a whole block.
Okay.
You pushed the car block before, man?
Not a block, no.
Block? Hey, man, just think about a block. Think about
it might need to be longer than a block for the bet.
What? Where do you come up with this stuff, Deke? Where?
I'm just saying.
This is crazy.
I don't know if a block's enough. 2 blocks.
A block uphill.
Oh, see, now you're throwing the uphill.
Yeah, go 3 blocks uphill. Then while you're at it, yeah.
All right, a block's good.
You sure? Because I got a big hill in my neighborhood.
A block, I think the car would come back on me. Like if I'm trying to do it.
you better get the legs going, man. Stay low. Drive.
Yeah, that's good. Let's just do the block.
Sure?
A flat block is over.
Are you sure?
Dude, I just want it to be hard, like a little bit.
We'll go uphill for 2 blocks. Or go uphill 1 block and then bust a right at another block. Yeah.
2 blocks. I think 2 blocks just stay straight.
2 blocks straight flat?
Yeah, I think that's solid.
Jesus. Now, what happens if you can't push the car?
I'll be able to push it.
What if you can't push it for 2 blocks?
And that's embarrassing. Then you can get that on video.
No, man, because I want you to push the car 2 blocks.
I'll push it. I'll get my mind. I'll get my mental toughness going, and I'll get the car going.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
So is it? I could pick any car for you to push.
I think just one of our cars. Let's just do my car because my car's already kind of beat up.
So because I knew a guy who has a U-Haul.
No, we ain't doing that.
I was trying to get the detail, kind of like with the hot sauce, where you were like, "Oh, it's just a cup." Then it was like, "All right, a shot. Make it a double shot, and then a little bit more." I'm just trying to figure out, like, can we get all this done?
True, that's where I got the detail.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I don't think I was in the wrong though there.
Whatever you say, man. All right, so we'll push your car for 2. We said 2 blocks.
2 blocks.
Okay.
Flash Street. Maybe
this is Pittsburgh. Where you gonna find flat?
Maybe a slight up. There's suburbs like Upper St. Clair, like Bethel Park, for sure.
Okay.
All right, so that's what we're doing.
Yeah, sounds good to me, man.
Okay, and now the games. We got the Toilet Bowl, Redskins, Dolphins. As one.
Oh.
New Orleans.
Redskins just fired their coach. Dolphins suck.
That's a Philly, Minnesota. I'll go Philly if you want that.
I don't trust Cousins. I never bet with Cousins.
Giants, New England tomorrow night. I'll go New England.
No, I'm cool with that.
Baltimore, Cincy.
You go Cincy?
you want to bet Baltimore again?
I don't. I hate it. You know how I feel about that.
Oh, San Fran, LA Rams at LA. You feeling a certain squad there?
I guess LA.
That's what I was leaning.
If I had to pick one of them.
Detroit, Green Bay at Green Bay.
I'll go Green Bay. Stafford's playing better.
Seahawks at Cleveland.
Ooh.
Houston, KC.
KC's coming off a loss.
At KC.
So I would go Houston. You would go KC?
You want to do that?
Is that what you would do? Or who do you want?
I'd go either or at this one. Yeah. I'll defer to you.
I don't even know. I mean, it can't hurt, right?
No, I think either one.
How's Houston doing this season?
I'll go KC. They're 3-2. I'll go KC.
I don't know about that one either, man. And are those all the matchups?
Atlanta, Arizona, Cowboys, Jets. I didn't think those would really be on the radar. Denver, Tennessee. And Carolina, Tampa Bay was the other one I missed.
You like Tampa though, right? You just bet on Tampa, didn't you, the other day?
I did.
Yeah.
Against the Saints.
You did. You like Tampa a lot.
In that game, I don't know about now. Jameis let me down.
I mean, it's Carolina.
That one's. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not at Tampa Bay. That one's in London. That's at 9:30 a.m.
No, I'm good on that one.
So what's our two then? KC, Houston, or what? We already said no on the San Fran, LA.
Let's go KC, Houston. I'll take Houston. You go KC.
I'll go Mahomes.
There we go. As much as I love Mahomes too, I just
You're not feeling it this one.
No, I am, but I'm just gonna take Houston.
All right.
What?
You just knowing that this is more random than you thought.
It's super random. So it's like, all right, I'm just gonna take Houston, man. But see, that's a part of knowing. Okay, it's just pushing a car. Like if this is, hey, I want you to eat 10 raw eggs. I'm like, we're gonna need to get more in depth with this thing, man.
So you're not that bad on pushing the car. You feel good about it.
I ain't tripping on it. I don't want to do it.
Really?
I definitely don't want to push a car. What? Push a car?
I think it'll be easy.
Hey, man. We're going to find out, unfortunately.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, dude.
Think we covered everything?
Yeah, dude. I'm just stretching. I'm sorry.
Okay. All good then, man. So y'all heard the bet. Like I said, y'all definitely going to enjoy this interview, man. Devin Bush, he came through. Awesome time, man. So shout out to him, man, once again. Yeah, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. As always, major love, and until next time.
Peace.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have the first round draft pick of the Pittsburgh Steelers, 10th overall, out of Michigan, young Devin Bush. What's up, Devin, man? How are you doing today, man?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. So, obviously, it's been a crazy season for you, man. So just talk about how have you adjusted to your first season in the NFL?
Honestly, it's a lot of things that come fast in the first year based off my experience. And honestly, you just kind of adjust as things go. You make mistakes or you see different ways to do things, whether that's on and off the field, and you kind of just make adjustments as you go and figure out, what works for you and what doesn't.
Absolutely. And I mean, I know you definitely faced some challenges through that process. So, man, what's been the most challenging to you thus far?
The most challenging, I think, so far was kind of getting in the rhythm of being a professional. You got a lot more time on your hands. Definitely got a lot more money on your hands too.
Talk about it.
I think balancing those two and being able to stay humble and focus on your craft. At this point, I feel like a lot of people could be like, hey, you made it, you did this, you know what I'm saying? But it's always, a longer journey to something, especially something like this.
I like that. And I'm glad you talked about the humility element, man, because I know me being an older guy, a guy who's been in that locker room, being able to see you, man, you are super humble, man. And it's something that's rare. A lot of guys who have had success in college and come in as a high draft pick, they don't always have that same type of humility. But you're a guy who definitely does that, man. So just wanted to let you know, man, keep doing that, baby. Keep it up.
And we could definitely see Deke here, Devin, with that humility. You've been getting better week in and week out on the field as well as the defense. What do you attribute that the most?
I think it goes into the time I put, off the field, with some studying and making sure I know what I'm doing at all times, as well as others around me, understanding the game plan more. Kind of helps me, slow down the game in a sense.
And now we talked about what challenges you the most, right? But what have you enjoyed the most throughout this whole process thus far?
Honestly, the biggest enjoyment I get in this process is being with other talented guys. It makes you appreciate football that much more because every guy in here is special at something, and everybody here is not trying to be the superstar. Everybody has a job to do, and everybody does their job, to their best abilities. And I think it's special to see a bunch of guys play one game from different areas and different eras and all come in together as one team and play the game that we love to play.
Now, Devin, obviously you went to Michigan.
Tell them go blue.
And Harbaugh is kind of like this mythic figure as a coach, a lot of stories about him. But then there's also been a lot of things that go around with the football team outside of him, whether it's like Michael Jordan and Jordan Brand sponsoring the team or like having Tom Brady come and give speeches, other like high-profile guys. Is there a favorite moment that you had when you were playing college ball there? Something that sticks out to you?
My favorite moment is when we found out we were taking that trip to Rome my sophomore year. I think that was probably one of the best moments.
What
playing for Coach Harbaugh.
Yeah, what happened out there? Would you learn anything specific?
We pretty much did everything you could think of. We went to operas, we went to the Coliseum, we went to different restaurants, we went to the Vatican, we went a whole bunch of places. We did a whole little tour. So, the whole just being there was so special. You got to see a different way of living and different monumental things about the city and the history of the city. So I think that was probably the biggest thing I remember, or one of the best memories.
Oh yeah, that's dope.
When I remember when we had that dinner the other night, in terms of with Coach Simon and all the younger players, you were kind of telling that story about how it's a cultural experience. And for a lot of guys, they don't get that opportunity, but being a part of that program, it allowed you to have that. And you were talking about how you were very appreciative of it. But you told me a story about when you were choosing to go to Michigan. So, man, just share that so the people could know what went into that process for you, man.
Yeah, shoot. It's, you know how long this story is. Basically, like, I had a top 5, and I was coming out early, and I knew I was leaving in December, so I had to make a decision really fast. It's kind of creeping up really fast, and all the coaches that were recruiting me, including Michigan, the defensive coordinator, Coach Durkin, was recruiting me there, and a lot of those other competing schools had coaches left or defensive coordinators left, and Michigan defensive coordinator left. So I was kind of stuck with no coaching staff with all my top 5, and I had like a last minute visit, to go to Michigan, and basically I didn't want to go. I didn't want to take that trip. I wanted to stay home and just enjoy my weekend. And the person I really wanted to go was my dad. So, he kind of walked in my room and he begged me. He's like, hey, look, you can go to Michigan this weekend. They want you to come for a visit. I'm like, I don't know anything, about Michigan right now. I like the coach there. I don't know anything about it. and I'm nowhere in hell I'm leaving to go somewhere where it's cold. So he was like, please do this for me. I always wanted to see Michigan. It's just for me. The only way I can go is you come with. So I'm like, I'll come. So I end up going, and ever since then, I fell in love with the place. That's pretty much how that went.
Hey, man.
I definitely didn't want to go. I was so close to like, nah, I'm not going.
Hey, man, sometimes, Pop's got that influence, man.
Yeah, for real. I mean, it was literally for him. Shoot.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And now, just talking about even influencing and stuff like that, you've been surrounded by some awesome veterans in Ryan Shazier, Vince Williams, and Mark Barron. So let's talk about how those veterans have impacted you throughout the season so far.
Yeah, they always there. That's one thing I can't say. Those guys are always there. I know those guys are in my corner, and they want nothing but the best for me. And they want me to learn from any mistake that they made or anything they think I should know. And they always feed me information, whether that's about football or just about life in the NFL and being an NFL player. So I'm very grateful to have, those three, to pick off their brain and see different ways of thinking and, how to handle different things and situations. So those guys are constantly in my ear.
I like that, man.
Now, Devin, you've been in Pittsburgh for a little bit now, ever since you got drafted. Is there anything about Pittsburgh that has surprised you, whether it's like a pet peeve or some type of quirk that you have? I think that we could call you.
My biggest pet peeve, it was so much of a pet peeve I had to cut you off. My biggest pet peeve about Pittsburgh is people stare too much.
What?
Stop staring at Devin, man.
People's not like. People just stare like they don't, even if I am who I am, but like people are like, yeah, like people stare here.
So you're saying care. Even if you weren't the linebacker for the Steelers, they'd be staring.
Exactly. They're like if they look at you, they're gonna stare at you. I hate where I'm from. If you staring at somebody, it's about pressure. It's about, you want to do something, So I'm like, why are you staring at me? That's my biggest pet peeve.
Wait, do you agree with that, Moats?
I don't know. I chalked it up to being a football player. Everybody stares at me as well.
They just stare like really hard though.
Hey, stop staring at people, Deke. Stop staring at people. Golly.
Damn.
Now, your father was a first-round draft pick as well. So just talk about what it meant to you to join that fraternity, being a first-round pick, but also how your father helped you throughout that draft process and what it meant to him as well, man.
Yeah, being the son of a first-round pick is, I think it's really challenging. You're constantly going to get compared to him, no matter what stage you are in your career. I was a 8-year-old football player getting compared to my dad.
Man.
So I mean, that was really challenging. Just throughout the whole process, from college to the pros, he kind of just spoke things into existence for me. I kind of didn't understand what he was talking about at a younger age, and everything's starting to show itself. That he was talking about, and I kind of understand where he was coming from. So I mean, he's helped me. He's been my right hand since the beginning.
Man, that's awesome.
So I mean, that's also another veteran. I got in my corner, so that's pretty cool. He definitely is a big reason. I am who I am today.
Man, that's awesome. And then on top of that, your defensive coordinator was his coach when he was in the NFL as well, man, and Keith Butler. So that's just crazy in itself thinking about that, man.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's full circle.
Absolutely, man.
Hey, Devin, I got a question about the hair. So you had the full dreads going at Michigan, and then you decided to get it cut, and then just keep the mullet look with it. What went into that decision?
It's another funny story. So my mom called me one day. I guess I did an interview or something. And me, I don't like I'm a guy like I'm not gonna do much. If I like something, I like it. You know, I'm not gonna change for anybody or do something different. So I'm not gonna get my hair done. That's how I like my hair. You know, I like it how I like it.
Yeah.
So I guess my hair wasn't done and whatever. So she called me and was like, "Hey, like, you look so raggedy on camera. Your hair never done, and you look like you need to do something with your hair, get it done." I'm like, "All right, yeah, okay, whatever." So I'm like, all right. I'm thinking, I'm like, yeah, she kind of right a little bit. I just kind of look a little rough. So I was like, you know what? I had my hair for like 10 years. So I mean, I already know what it is. And, you know, I'm like, you know what? Let's switch it up. So I'm like, you know, I'm just going to cut it and grow my hair out just to do it. So I ended up going to the barber and he was cutting my hair. I'm like, yeah, I'm about to just cut it off. So he started cutting my hair from like the front. And as he's cutting it, he's kind of like, you know, lining me up, you know, getting me right. And I look to the side, and I'm like, dang, that look pretty cool. That look pretty cool. So I'm like, hey, you ever seen somebody with this on their head before? And he was like, nah, this is new. I never seen nobody like that. So I'm like, you know what, just leave it. I'm putting the ponytail in my mouth. I'm just going to pay you for the whatever you did in front. And that's what happened. So that's how that came about.
I like it.
That's dope as hell.
Now, I saw earlier today, you posted about you have a celebrity bowling event coming up, man, with James Washington. So talk about that a little bit, man.
Yeah, it's we doing an event for the little bowling alley. You know, just to raise a little awareness for animals and stuff like that. But pretty much it's just something to come out and have fun, man, and just have good vibes, bro. Just go out, bowl, eat some food, laugh a little, you know, just get an experience, you know, to just be out there and be fun, you know, have fun.
I like
whoever
that.
comes.
I like that. Early in your career, man, already getting in the community, giving back.
What's your best score? You any good?
I seen that Shay said I'm not good, but I beat them boys last time you went to the bowling alley. So, but nah, I'm all right.
Like 130, 140?
About there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's decent.
About there. I'll hit a 150 on a good. Like if I'm really focused. Yeah, if I throw a gutter ball though, I'm not like my head be going though.
Oh man. All right, so the last question we always ask any of our guests, man, regardless if you played in the year, you know, in the league 15 years or only one league, or excuse me, only 1 year. Talk about your welcome to the NFL moment, man.
Welcome to the NFL moment. Dang, what was my welcome to the NFL? Okay, this is my welcome to. We was at camp, and we were doing 7-shot. And Big Ben was literally throwing routes just on me and just completing them. So he threw like an out to Vance, caught it, threw a fade, caught it, threw an under route, caught it. So I'm like, damn, like I really suck. Like, am I really this bad? Like he's doing at me 3 times. So I think that was my welcome to the NFL moment. Like I got scored on 3 times and we just changed periods and nobody didn't say nothing to me. So I was like, damn, I suck.
I will say this. Ben has gotten us all. He takes turns getting us linebackers, man. So major respect to you, though, man.
For real.
But, man, definitely appreciate you taking time coming on the podcast with us, man. Like I said, keep killing it on the field and keep doing your thing in the community, man. It definitely means a lot to everybody in the city, man. So we appreciate you.
Absolutely. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate y'all.
No doubt, man.
No problem, man. Peace.